Oh, Happy New Year. That's tasty.
That's how you want to start this off?
It's a new year.
Fantastic. What's up, Schmoedown Nation?
Fans.
Movie
Trivia Schmoedown.
What's up, Movie Trivia Schmoedown? You know, we've been doing this for like half of 2018 and we still have this down. What's up, Movie Trivia Schmoedown Nation? There we go. That sounds good.
That's not a thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, what is going on with y'all? We are the Cinefanatics. My name is Robert Adams.
I'm Chris Adams.
And we have concluded the 5th season of Movie Trivia Schmoedown. We just got done with the Spectacular. And in that video, we talked about doing a recap video of sorts. Well, this is that video.
Yes, that's right. Recapping everything that happened. Oh, so many matches, so many big events, and funny enough, we only lost one marker the entire time.
Fantastic.
I don't like this one. Anyway, those matches were actually really good. We're gonna try to relive everything that happened.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to do that.
Strap in. We've got a solid 3 days long video for you. I'm gonna need another beer.
We're probably going to have to shorten that a bit. 3 days seems a little obscene. We just got done doing a 6-hour-long Spectacular reaction. Let's not do 3 days.
So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to cover our top 10 favorite moments from the Schmoedown this season.
But keep in mind, this is not like the top 10 most important moments. These are just our favorites. So our favorite number one may not be the same as your favorite number one, although... probably is, in all honesty.
So hey, don't give it away.
Yeah.
Now, there are going to be just at least a couple of these on our list that we favorite just because of how important they were to the entire season. Not necessarily that we actually loved what happened in those moments, but they were important, and that's why they are our favorite.
There's also a couple of these that we may be showing you some clips of our reaction. Like I said, we've only been doing reactants.
We've only been doing them reactants
for about half the year now. So unfortunately, a lot of these moments, we don't actually have a reaction clip. Because before we started doing reacting, we were just sitting there and watching in front of the TV, answering the questions, going, hey, you know what? We should be doing them there reactors like they've been doing on the internets. Or some forth. Just because we're from Texas doesn't mean we actually talk like that.
And we just alienated half of our fan base.
Y'all need to stop stereotyping. Anyways, so you'll see some of our favorite reactions from back when we first started.
What's up, guys? We're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
And we're about to do, for our first time ever, our inaugural Schmoedown reaction.
So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's move on to our first number 10.
Yes, that's right. Coming in at number 10 is the very unfortunate news that Mr. Sam Levine gave up both the belts and retired.
Yeah, so he's had that singles belt for a while. He won that from Christian Harloff, and he had successfully defended it a couple of times.
Yep.
And then on top of that, him and his above-the-line teammate Drew McWeeny won the team belt. That made him the first person in Schmoedown history to win 2 belts. So
I believe he's also the first one to give up 2 belts too.
Yeah. So yeah, he told us in a pretty intimate sounding meeting with Christian that we all got to see that he feels like he needs to move on.
If I've done everything I wanted to do in the Schmoedown, there's only one logical step left, and that is to walk away.
As soon as we heard that there was going to be a special announcement from him, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, this isn't going to be good.
If he's got a special announcement, that means he's probably going to give up the belts, isn't he?
Yeah.
Luckily, with the blessing of Drew McWeeny, he gave up both those belts. And, you know, they've moved on to some other hands, too.
Yeah. At number 9, we have Mike Kalinowski versus Mara Konopik 2. This was what we just recently saw at the Spectacular, where Mike Kalinowski successfully won the Inner Geekdom belt from Mara Kanopik.
Yeah, he did exactly what he said he was going to do from the very beginning of the Inner Geekdom tournament, and that was take that Inner Geekdom belt. It took 2 matches with Mara in order for it to happen, though, because she was a Brown Dwarf star.
Yeah, she was an amazing competitor, and that was just a really good match.
It was a hard-fought fight.
That was some of these. I mean, we're ranking on here just because of how good the match are. There will be a couple of others that we're going to mention that are basically because of that, but this one was really good.
And there's a piece to it also that this was kind of, with all the events that happened at the Spectacular, this was kind of the culmination of Mike's storyline for this season, that he actually ended the storyline this season with having won the belt, which is kind of a big deal because it's a matter of like he was flexing his power the entire season, and then boom, by the end of it, upon flexing his power to get that match, actually did win the belt, and the fact that the match was a really good, tight match.
Yeah, that's right. He flexed that tight match belt and gave himself a title match at the Spectacular where he won the belt. So, yeah, that was good on him. Glad to see his story concluded. And now we get to watch next season as he tries to defend that belt.
Yeah, and see if maybe Jason Justice Inman rises above to serve some justice and try to take that belt back. Ooh, I can't wait.
That will be interesting.
That could be a good one. Number 8. Number 8 is actually going to be another tight, close match. That is the Mara versus Rachel match.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. So this one, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit on my on how I voted for the Schmoedown Awards here. This was my match of the year. Not because of any kind of spectacular, whoa, this was such an intense match. It was an intense match, but not for reasons of the fact of how long it lasted into overtime, into sudden death, but just how much anguish both of the competitors were in.
I believe at that time, Rachel Cushing was really sick.
She was sick.
And Mara had just gotten out of a car accident.
Yeah.
So neither one of these competitors were in the right frame of mind, it seems. But they brought... I don't think it's possible to say there's something higher than an A game, but they brought that.
Yeah.
I mean, we went into overtime, sudden death. I think we were in sudden death for like
multiple rounds.
At least 50 extra questions. I might be exaggerating there a bit, but
it was definitely 49.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big deal right there. I mean, you look at these two competitors who just literally gave it their all. Like, this is why I voted at number 1, because they deserve to have it be at number 1, because both of them just brought such a commitment beyond the Call of Duty. I mean, let's be honest, at the end of the day, it's a YouTube show.
Yeah.
It's just a trivia competition.
And I'm not expecting to be that well entertained from a YouTube.
Yeah, and then the people who show up are just coming here just to answer a few questions about movies.
Yeah.
And yet, these two went, like I said, above the Call of Duty. They went a step beyond and showed up and still competed, even when they felt like crap.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought a seriously well-fought game.
Yeah.
Numero 7.
Mix it up. Wow. Number 7 is going to be another match from the recently aired Spectacular. This was the singles championship match of Roca versus Ethan Irwin for the belt. And Irwin pulling out the win on that.
Yeah, I mean, that is... Let's stop for a second and keep in mind, like, beating Roca is no easy feat at this point. He has achieved legend status in this game just because he's been a champion multiple times now in different leagues. But on top of that, he's just one of those knowledgeable competitors who's never going to go away because he has no reason to. He just knows his stuff, and he's going to keep competing until he probably rolls over and dies someday.
And he loves this game, too, and you can see it.
He has the passion.
Regardless of whatever character he's playing, whether heel, face, I don't know.
Tweener, whatever.
Yeah, whatever character he's playing, you still see he's got the love, the passion for the game behind it. And that's what makes matches with him, especially if it's a championship title match. That's what makes it so good, is you see he's on fire. He's ready to fight for that belt.
Yeah. But just to come in his rookie year and just plow through the singles division up until the point where he's facing Roca, and then to actually win the belt. First rookie ever in the history of the Schmoedown to win the singles division belt.
Yeah.
That's a pretty impressive thing.
He definitely...
Especially since he did it against Roca.
He definitely came in this season with some TURTLE power. And he just not... I don't know what he has to do with turtles, but, I mean, that was his entrance.
I'm sure he produced one of them.
Well, probably.
Or all of them.
Or he just really likes that song. Who knows? But we like that song, too, so...
Number 6... is finding out who Paulie G's employer is.
Which I should stop you right there. Is first of all, we're surprised just to find out who Paulie G is.
Yeah, that's one of those where he popped up in random places before, and it's like, okay, who's this guy?
Who's this random guy who looks like Eli Roth telling us like something major is going to be coming, and we have no idea, and then he disappears and we never hear from him again.
He pops up somewhere else randomly out of nowhere, and then he's just gone for half a year.
Yeah, pretty much. So this all came to a head at the Spectacular. Apparently all the spectacular things happen at the Spectacular.
And they're all spectacular.
So, first of all, this comes to an end after the amazing Commissioner's Bowl.
Yeah.
Which, that match alone probably could also be ranked on this list as well.
To be fair.
He's working for somebody that he was helping to orchestrate whatever it was Kalinowski was doing. But we had no idea who Paulie G was reporting to.
Yeah.
Until the end of the Commissioner's Bowl.
And then, in grand fashion, he goes to point to the curtain, but then flips it back, and it's Christian giving his, yes, that's right. That's right, Steve Austin. It's me. It's been me the entire time.
Yeah.
And then his great line to Thad. That was just a hilarious moment.
It was like the icing on the cake, the cherry on top of the whipped cream.
Yeah, just kicking Thad while he's now down. Still would have liked to see Thad clean the toilets at the end of the Spectacular.
That would have been funny. Yeah. Number 5. This one was one that, I think just really gets at you. Number 5 was at Collision when Guy got to play Merle. And then at the end, against all odds, Andrew Guy won.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you can't ask for a better storyline for somebody who is probably the number 1 heel this season as far as performance goes.
If not ever.
If not ever. I mean, we're looking at Andrew Guy, his commitment to his character, who he's playing, the type of person he is on the screen, and then being able to take out who everyone has qualified as the GOAT status player in Dan Merle. I mean, you can't ask for a better gift just handed straight to you.
And nobody saw that one coming.
And all of us were pulling for Dan the entire time, oh yeah, Dan's gonna wipe the floor with Andrew Guy, because Andrew Guy is definitely the weakest part of Team Action. Ben's definitely better than him.
I don't know if I'd say that now.
No, I wouldn't, because now I'd say, at the very least, they're pretty equal.
Yeah.
Andrew does know his stuff.
Anyways,
proved it against Dan.
So it was that moment when he won and he got on the desk and started screaming and everything, just giving everyone the finger. Just that cemented how awesome that moment was.
And that's nothing to say that he went on and beat Riley and then Roca had to step in to take him out finally. But
yeah,
I mean, just a run that he had, starting with, coming out at the free-for-all in place of Dan, and then Dan, stepping in to try to take him on, and then Guy and then boom, no. I mean, you can't ask for a better heel moment than that this season. Number 4, and it almost pains me to put this at number 4 too, just because we're getting down to the nitty gritty of all these moments were so good. Number 4 is the run the Shire Wolves have had this season. I mean, you're looking at them winning the belts and then turning around and defending those belts. Both of those encompassing one giant moment here. Their initial fight to win that championship after Above the Line gave up the belts was them going against Brianne and Brian, sick in the head. And It was a good match. The thing is that I think, and what sets it up the defense really is that this match had a lot of like people going, okay, are the Shirewolves really? I mean, the stick in the head. They've never played together as a team before. Brian is new underneath the lights. Is this really like a championship match?
They did win the belt. They won the title. They had the right to defend the title.
Officially, they were the rightful champions.
Yeah, and the thing is all these people were talking trash and everything about it, and they were silenced
Immediately.
at the Spectacular again when the Shirewolves got to take on Who's the Boss.
A team that has definitely proved itself throughout the Anarchy tournament.
Yeah, so Who's the Boss won their chance to go after the belt.
And could have feasibly been able to take it away. But that's the kicker here. The Shirewolves are champions for a reason. Not because their match with Sick in the Head was whatever, but because they know their stuff and they know how to play the game. And they played it well.
Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past. Got it.
They got it?
4. Ghosts of Girlfriend's Past.
You got it.
And your winners!
The Shirewolves.
Still, Movie Trivia Schmoedown! Champions of the world!
Ooh. That's a solid win right there.
Yeah.
That match against Who's the Boss should prove to everybody that they deserve to be champions.
And I would really like to see going into this next season if they just managed to just hold the belt the entire time.
Shirewolves are, I believe they're 5-0 now, currently. You know, they have the ability to top the 9-0 run that the Patriots had. Mm-hmm. They just have to play a few more games, win a few more games, defend a couple more times.
Number 3 is what basically drove most of the season is Kalinowski turning away and becoming a heel.
Hashtag heel watch.
Yeah. So Kalinowski felt let down by his team, that nobody was supporting him, nobody was coming up with the right questions. They ended up losing that team match, and Kalinowski felt betrayed, and so we just saw him walking away, giving the middle finger to the camera, turning heel, and next thing we know is we see him in Thad's office.
We're going to do things a little different. We're going to do a tournament. It's going to be an Intergeekdom tournament.
No. We don't have time to do all that tournament stuff. We have to get
Let me stop you right there.
And so it started the path of Kalinowski blackmailing everybody for this, that, and the other. And I'm not even sure if we actually know what was on like all of those papers or even who all had a paper.
I know one got sent to Donica. Not sure what was on Donica's. I can't remember. It might have been explained. But I know for sure that Ken's was Dagnino trying to trade off Snyder and trying to break up.
Which we saw
that play out because the Patriots broke up. The Lions in faction kind of just fell apart.
And Ken went on to say that he was going to start the Knights of Ken, which we still haven't 100% seen that come together.
I think that's something we'll see this next season also. But I mean, the big story here is that Kalinowski went from being like the nicest guy competitor to just straight up breaking and stripping everything apart in the Schmoedown and redoing, plugging pieces and whatever. As we know, all at the instruction of Pauly G and Christian, ultimately. Yeah. But, you know, it was still I think a pitch perfect heel turn for Mike because, I mean, that's the one, like, everyone was like, heel watch, you know. Oh, Mike's going to turn at some point. We just know it.
And made for a very fantastic season.
It was definitely, like, one of the top-notch entertaining pieces of the entire season.
Yep.
And, again, like, behind the curtain, you got to commend Mike Kalinowski for that, too. Like, he knew how to put on a show, and he pulled it off, again, pitch perfect. Number 2, we're getting down to the wire here. Sam Levine and Drew McWeeny. That's got to be the number 2 moment. I mean, you're looking at, again, we talked about this with the Shirewolves piece. Patriots were 9-0. They were undefeated. Nobody was taking them out. And then here comes Above the Line. Their first match in the Spectacular last year. 2 years ago at this point, I guess, huh? the 2017 Spectacular.
Yeah.
Above the line loses to the Patriots. And, that was the Remember the Titans question, too. They lost by one Remember the Titans question.
Oh, because nobody can remember the Titans.
Oh, that was sad. That got me. That was sad. But coming back in this season and just the next match they get with the Patriots, it's like they put in some extra study time. Like, they knew they had the Patriots on the ropes. They just had to get that 1, 2, 3 extra points. They just had to get a little bit above them, above the line. Sean Maroney. And they could take them out. And then they did.
And then there was an immediate rematch again, but that one was the Iron Man match.
Yeah.
In which Above the Line was able to successfully defend the title at that.
Both teams going through the gauntlet of question.
Yeah. And I believe it was at that match that when they won that, we just saw nothing but just pure unbridled joy coming out from Drew McQueenie.
Yeah, well, that's such a huge moment, though, to be able to take out the Patriots and then win the belts and then defend again against them. Mm-hmm. I think it pushed Above the Line into like a legendary team status. Like, you look into the Schmoedown Hall of Fame, Above the Line is up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so honorable mentions for this year.
Gotta drop these before we drop number 1 on you, because you don't know what number 1 is already.
Koi Jandro versus Mark Anopik.
Nothing big and special about this, except for
Koi Jandro's suit was just absolutely amazing. It was that Spider-Man suit that we wish we could have. I mean, if I had one of those, I'd probably get married in that suit. And now I'm going to be single for the rest of my life because I said that on camera. Another one is going to be Team Action's Split. Oh, this one hurts. So, once again, Andrew Guy has a habit of tackling people that have wronged him in some way. At the Spectacular previously, was it the Spectacular?
I believe so.
Yeah. He tackled Roca after their match. And now he comes to the Spectacular and meets up with Ben Bateman. There's like, hey, Ben Bateman's a part of Who's the Boss. They might continue on, who knows. And
he had such a good run, so he doesn't want to leave Riley yet.
Yeah, and Guy's like, oh, I understand. You two are great together. In fact, let's build up an action army, an actual army. I've got someone I can pair with, too, so it should all be good.
And it was like a nice, like, generous Andrew Guy. It's like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
I guess it's just because they're buddies that Guy can be nice to Bateman. That's cool.
And Bateman's like, yeah, this sounds like a good idea. I like that. Good job, buddy.
Guy walks off screen and like, okay, cool. That's boom.
Got to get tackled. He choke slams Bateman through an IKEA table and then proceeds to just tell him off. Another storyline going into this next season is what exactly is going to happen to Andrew Guy and what's going to happen to Guy and Bateman's friendship and team action. We don't know.
Will the Action Army survive?
Yeah.
They're in turmoil right now.
Let's see. Another one is going to be Founding Fathers versus Corruption during the Anarchy match. This one, I'd say, was our honorable mention just because of how controversial it was. Like, so some of it is depending on when a competitor answers, even if they don't have it written on their whiteboard, if they say it, depending on who says it first. There seemed to be confusion in the pure basic rules. On top of that, it was also coupled with the whole issue of Chance Ellison writing David O. Russell as if he's Irish instead of David O. Russell, as in O is his middle initial.
Yep.
And so there was a lot of heated debate online about that. And then it just came down to, well, the argument is that phonetically is said pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's big controversy. I mean, and then that's not the only controversial moment where something like this happened this season. I mean, you have the Top 10 versus Patriots match also, in which we have the famous Jane Fonda gate.
Yes. The Roca wrote something in the corner.
Why is Roca involved in all of these?
Yeah. Roca wrote something at the bottom of his board. Not legible at all, but
it looked something like that.
Actually, it looked exactly like that.
Photographic memory.
But what happened is Roca was the second person to answer. The first person who answered did not guessed Jane Fonda correctly.
Nope.
So therefore, Rocha
In an attempt-
thought
Yeah.
that at that point it really doesn't matter what he writes on the board. The fact is he knows the correct answer. So he said Jane Fonda even though the board showed squiggles.
And he, in his defense, yes, he attempted to write Jane Fonda really quickly. It just was too quickly.
Yeah, so again, it just came down to the overarching rule, regardless of who answers first, whether they get it right or not, you write the answer on the board and you say the answer.
Yeah.
That removes all questions. There's nothing.
I hate the fact that these controversial moments are like big, memorable moments, but I mean, if it gets the community chatting for a while, it's going to be something that you remember for quite some time. I don't think Rocha's going to live down Jane Fonda anytime within the next few seasons.
Yeah.
Just like he's still not living down Bespin.
Probably not, yeah. So that leaves us down to number one. Like I said, our number one, there's probably a pretty good chance that our number one is your number one because it really could only be one, or should I say 5 things. The reveal of the 5 horsemen at the live event. Nobody was expecting to see this.
No, not the live event, no.
Like, we had other live events since then where, like, storylines were being continued on.
Yeah.
And we knew there was going to be a hint of something or another pertaining to those storylines. We had no idea what was going to go on with this.
It was interesting, though, because that live event, you had Shirewolves versus Team Action. Mm-hmm. Shirewolves won. Andrew Guy, in true heel fashion, coming out, being upset, frustrated, and just getting mad at like the fans and everything too. Like, I beat Dan. What are you talking about? I'm the true GOAT here. Oh, you want me to bring out Dan? Oh, the GOAT? Oh, Dan. Yeah. Dan, come on out here. I did it. Out walks Ben Bateman.
Dressed up as Dan. And actually looking pretty good due to like the stuff he was wearing, the lights, the stage lights.
Made us question for just a bit until we saw the hair in the back. And
yeah.
We know better. That little exchange there, and then as funny and as entertaining as that was, the lights shut off.
Music kicked in, the lights came back on, and we got what basically looked like 4 druids on stage in like the robes, hooded, and
which immediately like the crowd is erupting because if there's 4 people standing on stage, we know who those 4 people are. It's the 4 horsemen.
So we see it, the first hood comes off and it's matte nosed, and then we're like, okay, so then the second hood comes off and it's of course John Rocha with the Guy Fawkes mask, who was the 3rd and 4th. So he reaches up, pulls off the hood, and it's Jason Inman,
which awesome.
And then the 4th person pulls off the hood, and it's Mark Riley.
What? Mark Riley's coming out of retirement, joining the Horsemen. That's fantastic.
So the crowd is all nuts. Everyone is just going insane, and you hear like all the shocks and gas and everything. They lifted up the 4, and then they turned it to the 5, and everyone's like, "What? What is 5? What's 5?" And then the lights went out again.
And then the lights went out. Yeah.
And then lights come back on, and there's one new person right in the middle. He goes to pull off his hood, and it's Dan Merle.
Merle is back.
And so this begins the whole thing with Merle talking to Guy. So Merle immediately challenges Guy to that match at the Collision, which, like we said earlier,
it didn't go the way we thought. But
go the way anyone thought.
Beside the point here, it was just a moment that was built up. I mean, Dan Merle coming out of retirement because somebody was just talking trash in the Schmoedown. He's like, you know what? No, I'm not going to have any of this. I'm going to take you on. We're going to have a match at Collision. And Andrew Guy over here like, fine.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that moment is cemented in history, regardless of whatever's happened with the Horsemen, whether they won or lost it all this season. That moment itself has kind of cemented itself in Schmoedown history as probably one of the top moments. And it definitely has earned our place for the number 1 moment of this season.
Good, like, endings, good twists and stuff like that. It's the reason why we still remember The Sixth Sense as one of the best twist endings. Empire Strikes Back, Planet of the Apes, Usual Suspects, all fantastic twist endings, and it's what makes it memorable. Same thing here. We weren't expecting the 4 Horsemen, much less the 5 Horsemen.
Yeah.
On top of that, Dan Murrell coming out of retirement. It was just, it was twist on top of twist on top of twist, and it all just, ooh, if you were a fan at that live event. So the last thing before we jump out of here is we are starting a new year. Going into this new season, as y'all are aware, there were a lot of changes that Christian announced at the Spectacular. One of the major changes is going to be matches that are going to be Patreon only. As of right now, we're looking at teams, Inner Geekdom, and probably any other specialty matches going to be exclusive for Patreons only.
Meanwhile, in the Dungeon of Editing.
Hey, those aren't exclusive for patrons only anymore. We can still do reactions to Inner Geekdom and teams. Christian changed some things.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah. Mommy.
We are also at the end of 2018 going into 2019. We do have our own videos that we're going to be releasing shortly in regards to like our top 10 movies of 2018. What movies are we looking forward to in 2019? And also going into the next month begins Oscar talk. The past couple of years, we've been doing an Oscar preview and a recap during the actual Oscars or right after the Oscars.
Usually, we've been hosting it live on our Facebook page. Probably still going to stay there since we're not at the point on YouTube yet where we can do it live on YouTube. But we'll invite you guys to come over and check that out on Facebook as well when we get to that point.
Yep.
So we got a lot happening, a lot to subscribe for, to stay tuned in to what the Cinefanatics are up to. So we want to invite you guys to hang out with us going into this new year.
We believe 2019 is going to be a big year for the Cinefanatics and for basically for us on YouTube, period. We have our vlog channels as well that we work on. So it's going to be a big year. So we invite you to be a part of it. That being said,
we want to thank you for watching this.
We would also like it if you liked it to like it down below.
Do all the liking.
Also comment, let us know what you thought of this video. Go over to the Schmoedown, comment and like their videos. Go over and subscribe to Schmo's No YouTube channel because that's where Schmoedown is going to be hosted from now on.
I believe the awards are going to be over there too, which as long as they're available on YouTube, we're doing a reaction for them.
Meanwhile, back in the Dungeon of Editing.
Hey, the awards are going to be on YouTube. They're going to be up on January 25th, so we can do the reaction to those. You really need to hurry up with this edit here. They're changing things on you while we're working on this. Come on.
Cool.
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Look forward to that as well. And also subscribe. Subscribe to Cinefanatics. And I think we covered everything. Is there anything else YouTube related that we need to talk about?
I think we got it all.
Okay, so as always,
we got to go meet a man in Zihuataneos.
Later.
See ya.